Welcome to Real with me, Zara King. I have been in business and personal development for years alongside raising my family. I started in the beauty industry in 2011, moved into network marketing and then coaching and NLP. This podcast originally began helping beauty professionals, and now I support ambitious women in a wider arena of service-based businesses. It is all about real, uncensored conversations on coming home to you and your alignment. You are done playing at a level that you know you've outgrown, and you're ready to go all in on creating more income, more freedom, mental clarity, and a business that actually works for your life. Inside this podcast, we talk real business, real life, and the hard parts most people avoid, from identity to strategy and what it actually takes to grow as women and mothers who want it all. So if you're ready to trust yourself fully and step into your next level, you're in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to another episode. I hope you are good. I hope it finds you well. I hope you're having a bloody good time in your business. Today's episode is all about how we as ambitious women, we fucking love what we do, but we get burnt out. And it's about that. I want to break it down a little bit in the way that I would for myself, my clients, and people that I talk to on the daily. If you love this episode, or in fact if you love any of our episodes, please do share them. Take a little screenshot, pop it on your stories and tag me. That is the best way for me to get this out to even more women that need it. And if you want to leave a little review, if you haven't done that already either, that will take you 2 seconds too, and I will just love you. So obviously we are women, and I feel like this conversation could go on a while, but I'm going to try my best to keep it not short, but average, because I don't want to take up way too much of your time. Do you know what I mean? But we're women, and it's not rocket science that we wear all the hats, and typically speaking, we are the ones that bring life into the world. We are the mothers. Obviously, I'm currently having a baby, number 4. We're the wives. We typically, and don't hate me for this, but we typically do a lot of the stuff around the house as well. We're the cleaners, we're the cooks, and we do all the washing and stuff. Now, I'm speaking from experience because this is me. This is my life. I am that, okay? I do most of the things with the kids. Every single washing load is mine. I do all the washing and the drying and the putting away. No one does it, which is fine. It's the way I've chosen. Life choices, guys, life choices. And I do all the cleaning and stuff. And of course, I'm an ambitious woman, right? So obviously I've experienced burnout in the past. I haven't had burnout for a very, very, very long time. I've been tired. I've gone through pivots. I've gone through changes, but I haven't had major burnout for a very long time. And so probably we're talking about 8 years, 7-8 years. That's a lie. 5 years. So we're really ambitious. We're ambitious as hell. We know what we want. We want more out of life. We've always wanted to work. We've always wanted something for ourselves. We've always wanted to have that feeling of success and just recognition. That's huge in ambitious women. We just want that recognition as well. And I think because that comes from who we are in our design, but then the conditioning because of who we are as women, because it clashes, we do what we do and we get burnt out. So I thought we'll talk about it in a way that breaks down why it happens, in case you get any more of a light bulb moment of things that you might be able to look at, work through, change if you are experiencing burnout, or if you have experienced it in the past but want to avoid it going forward. So really, the conditioning stuff, it's it comes from our childhood, it comes from our society and what we grew up around. It's when I was younger, I always heard the term, if you want to earn more, you've got to work harder. Money doesn't grow on trees, things like that. And it makes you think, it's hard, So sometimes we just make things harder for ourselves because of our conditioning. Or if we think, sometimes as women, we're almost put down, and it's like to want more for yourself would be greedy, you know? Or if you want more, then you have to sacrifice your family, for example. If you're an ambitious woman and you want to put your career first, then you've got to have a family later on in life. Well, I clearly didn't do that. Do you know what I mean? I was in sales and had my business when I had my little girl at 25. And I continued to have my babies and continued to work ever since. I've not ever taken a time out, really, you know? So that just debunks that myth. But there are still sacrifices. Not like there's no sacrifice. There is still sacrifice. And I think we are conditioned in a way where it's like you're a woman. So you have to be able, physically able to do it all. You know, like I know people where if they don't cook, it's looked at like, oh, you need to sort your shit out then. Why can't you cook? Who didn't teach you to cook? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, what? It's a basic human essential need. Why the fuck can't you cook? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get into like too much of a tit for tat because I could be here all day. But we're conditioned in a way to be like, to have to be able to do it all. You know, the family, the home and the work. And almost as if like we're failing if we don't do it all. And by do it all, by the way, I mean ourselves. Like I've had clients on a call before that physically felt sick about having to hire a cleaner, right? Because she wanted to progress in her home salon that she was growing, and her she had like 2 legs of the business, and she felt like a failure if she personally, even though the house would be kept on top of, she was paying for the cleaner, everything would have been fine, but it still felt like a failure because she personally, physically, herself wasn't doing it. She felt sick about hiring a cleaner because, like, what would her family think? Culturally, that fell on her. So it's like, I need to be doing it. And it looks like I'm failing if I can't keep up with that. Insane. And where do these things come from? Like, they come from our upbringing, our culture, and it can differ. Like, I'm English, but my husband's Pakistani. There's a difference in our culture. So there's a clash there as well. Society-wise, we live in England. Like, so that's a clash. There's a difference in what goes on over here. Women don't work over there as much, but here we do. You know, and it's a different form of work. And so it's kind of like, there's also not a village to help me raise my children as much as there are in different places, you know? So there's all different variables and places that it comes from. But I think, and there is a podcast on this that me and Chantel spoke on, where I speak about the fact that the reason it's so rife and the reason it feels so hard in 2026 is because the online world bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to be really fast, right? What I mean by that is when I was young, my dad used to say to me like, oh, how the other half live, you know, the rich. Oh, how the other half live. I had no idea what he meant. I was like, obviously, it seemed like a fairy tale. I was like, yeah, of course, how they live, like bloody hell, it's like kings and queens, right? Nowadays, I can see how the other half bloody live. I can see what they have. I can see what they do. I can see these women that are so successful. They have it all, it looks like. Now, that's bridging a gap and making me want more out of life even more. I'm already genetically manufactured in a way for some reason to be ambitious. It's in me anyway. And everything's being heightened these days because of everything that I can see and that's accessible to me. Exposure is the biggest thing, yeah? In us women, I'm talking to you, the woman that wants more, the woman that's out here trying to do it all, the woman that's probably experienced burnout, right? We love what we do. Of course we do. But everything is being heightened, hence why we compare ourselves, because it's coming from X, Y, and fucking Z. Left, right, and centre. It's coming from everywhere. Yeah? And we love what we do. And the thing is, in this, like, space, in this world, in my world, I'm helping women that are self-employed, that are service-based business owners, generally in the personal care industry, yeah? So a lot of the time, what we're doing is we're bending over and backwards even more. We're falling into people pleasing even more because Obviously, we're nurturers and we love doing what we do anyway. But the industries that we tend to be in my space, in my world, we're doing it all from that place as well. So it's like double whammy, life and business, putting everyone else first, you know? And a lot of the time we do manage it all. We actually do. You yourself have probably managed it all for such a long time. Such a long time, you've probably done it all yourself. You know, like everything I mentioned. Now, that's okay, but it is at the detriment of yourself. Because again, we're like wired in a way to believe that if we do put ourselves first, that's a little bit selfish. Or if we do put ourselves first, we're going to offend someone. Someone's not going to like it. Or if we do put ourselves first, it takes us away from the other stuff we need to do. So something drops. We drop the ball with something else because we want to put ourselves first. But that isn't an excuse or a reason to keep yourself at the bottom of the list. You have got to be at the top of the list. It doesn't matter if it takes away from X, Y, and Z. We can sort that out later. No one is going to get the best of you if you are not at your best, if you are not feeling good, if your cup isn't full. You've heard all of this, but implementing it is something different. And, you know, you're always going to be ambitious. No one's ever going to take that away because it's deeply in your makeup, like in your design. And it can't be shifted, actually. Do you know that? It really can't be shifted. I've tried. I've tried. You know, I've had a baby and gone, oh, okay, I will stop work. And then I'm like, oh, goodness me, I've got to do something. I have to do something. You know, like hats off to the women that probably aren't listening to this, but hats off to the women that are raising babies, taking care of their home like it's a full-time job, because it is. Like, it is such a full-time job. And sometimes I laugh and I say, you know, to my like people closest to me, I'm like, if I wanted to, I could actually busy myself and, you know, give myself activities around the house and it would last all day. Like, it just would, because it's never ending and it's such a hard role, especially if you're a mother as well. Like, adding children into the mix and moving parts, and those moving parts fucking up the stuff you've already done around the house as well, by the way. Like, it's a joke. It's hats off to these people, honestly. And hats off to you, and hats off to me, and hats off to all of us, because we do the best jobs in the world. But it can't be shifted, and you know it can't. You know, I know you know it can't. You're always going to have that thing inside of you that's like, I want to have something for myself. I want to be independent. I want my own income. And actually, when I was going through like the thoughts and the feelings and the how I want my life to look in this season of bringing baby number 4 into the world, and thinking about like how that's gonna look and just how I want it to feel, I was, you know, thinking about all of this. Kind of, the thing is, what would make me unhappy? And the first thing I wrote down was not having something for myself. The first thing, I was like, actually, I know myself that well that I would be unhappy if I did just quit. Like, if I did just like leave things. I've got to have something. I have to. So because I have to, and because you're probably the same, I wanted to talk about the fact that we have to protect our energy. And by protecting your energy, what I mean is, like, just imagine for a moment you are in like a bubble, like a big, glittering, gorgeous, gold, see-through but gold glittering bubble, yeah? Imagine you're inside of there and all of your energy is in there. No one's fucking bursting our bubble, okay? No one's getting in there that's not allowed in. If you're not on the list, you're not coming in. The energy protection level is like through the roof. We have to be up there. Doesn't mean to say that's going to be easy, but that's the seriousness of being highly ambitious loving what you do, and being a woman who wants to have that level of doing inside the home, inside the nurturing that goes on with life as well as business, yeah? So that leads me on to the fact that, and we can talk about how you actually need to protect that energy, by the way, like I can talk about that in a minute, and actually avoiding the burnout and stuff. But it's being okay with the fact that you're not going to be able to have every element of your life at a level 10 or, at 100% all at the same time. Because, people used to say, like, you can have it all. And women can have it all. Don't get me wrong. We can have it all. I feel like I have it all. I have my business. I have my babies. I have my house. I have everything I want. I have it all. However, I cannot have a business that I'm doing everything in at 100% and a life and a home that I'm doing 100% of everything in all at the same time. Yeah? You can't have it all at the same time if you are the one that is doing it all. So what this brings me to, and what the key point is here, is you need to know how you want your life to look. And this comes back to protecting that. Yeah? Your life, though, not anyone else's idea of what your life should look like, not even your partner's idea of what your life should look like. What do you actually want inside of you? Not your family's idea of what your life should look like, not his family's or her family's idea of what your life should look like, certainly not a stranger on social media that you're comparing yourself to. And then when you know what you want that life to look like, and you arrange things, like we're not going to talk about all of this, what the arrangements would look like, but when you know what you want that life to look like, it's actually being okay with it for a long enough period of time to get it there and to make it work, okay, whatever that looks like, and protecting it from other people's opinions, protecting it from the push and the pull, and you feeling like, I can't, protecting it from, as I've mentioned, social media and the comparison. That's the deal. That is it. But to wrap it up and to talk about avoiding like the actual burnout side of things, there are practical things you can do as well. Yeah. All of that is very internal that we've spoken about. It's very like awareness based. It's very like bringing it to the surface that, that's a permission slip, actually. I get it now why I feel that way. You know what I mean? That's all of that. And it's very internal. It's very based on like figuring out from the inside what you want it to look like. Now, practically, to avoid the burnout, of course, there are things that you can do. Yeah? So things like having your boundaries in place for work, for life, for the home, for people, the boundaries that you uphold with other people. And the thing is with boundaries is they're no fucking good unless you implement them. Yeah, you can write them down till you're blue in the face, but unless you implement them and stand your ground at certain times when it feels hard, they go to shit. I've seen it way too many times. I've done it way too many times myself. I do it all the time. We have to pick ourselves back up and we have to do it again, And what I'd say to you is this: I was given some really good advice, and I'll pass it on to you. Start small with that. If you find it hard to maintain a boundary, start really small. Start in the places that don't feel as hard. Start by thinking about like small things during the day that you have more control over. That's where you begin. Yeah. The second thing with avoiding burnout, and it's the most obvious, but it's the most overlooked, is having actual rest. I'm not talking about having a day for self-care. I'm not talking about doing your skincare in the mornings and the evenings and just having a bath. I'm not talking about like adding something into your diary that's called self-care. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about rest. That looks like a consistent sleep routine. That looks like going to bed at the same time every day so that you can get up at the same time most days, and so that you actually get full body rest. You have to have between 8 and 9 hours sleep a night. Women need more than men as well. And you're an ambitious woman, so go for 10. Because you're running on overdrive all the time, so go for more. Okay? On a serious note, as long as it's consistent and you are actually resting and doing nothing and the body is in a state of rest, happy days. Because I can tell you, like when I used to just think, oh, self-care, 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 it used to just be another thing on the bloody to-do list. And actually it took up capacity, and that's not actual rest. Yes, it's good. It's self-care. We enjoy it. It's lovely. And don't get me wrong, I'm at a spa day most months. Great. You can find me there. However, it's not actually rest. The third thing is having regular breaks. Now, I know, and if you're listening to this, you even probably know who you are because I've had this conversation with you multiple times. Stop working back to back, multiple client, in, out. Yeah? Don't care what services you provide, don't care whether it's on Zoom, don't care whether it's, online, offline, whatever. Where on earth is the lunch break? Where on earth is the stretch my legs break? The wee breaks? Regular breaks. It is illegal to work your body the way you're working it. No wonder you're getting burnt out. The fourth practical piece of advice to avoid the burnout is ask for support. In the home, in delegation, in the business before you actually need it, before you get too stressed that you're burnt out, ask for support. Number 5 in this arena is knowing how to regulate your body and feeling emotional regulation so that we're not running on stress and so that we're not running at just insane amounts of anxiety. It's bringing the regulation into, a happy state. And knowing how to do that. I think I'd strongly recommend as well that you find what regulation tools work for you. I enjoy meditation, but I don't enjoy it to the point of being like a monk. I just enjoy it every now and then. I enjoy fresh air. I enjoy, a bit of breath work. I enjoy soft music while I'm doing my journaling. I enjoy my internal process for the internal dialogue that I teach my clients. I enjoy that kind of thing. But it is all, it's all relevant to who you are and what actually works for you, and like building the toolkit, because you don't just start and get it right and feel great. It's like building what works for you over time. So that is that. And the last one I think that's important for avoiding the real burnout stuff is knowing how to prioritize what's important to you right now and acting on it and taking the action from the place of how you want everything to feel properly, not just having a to-do list as long as your arm that's going to overwhelm you every single damn day. We also spoke about that last week on that episode about prioritization, productivity. We spoke about that on last week's episode. So if you want to have a little listen into that, then go for it. And that one will help you as well. So I will leave it there, and I hope this has helped. If it has, reach out to me on social media and let me know. If you need me, want to get in touch with me, want to work with me, the details that you need are all in the description. Love you so much. Have a great day.